Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. Let's jump at it real quick. Can we have a congregational meeting real quick? Because I need to get your consensus. Is it fair to say, am I going too far? Is this a reach to say that Baron Coleman is probably the most unserious person in this whole Candaspiracy, libtard foolishness? I don't think anybody else is as unserious as Baron Coleman. You're going to have to work hard to show me somebody else that's as unserious as this guy. This guy cannot be serious what he's about to say. He's going to chastise people. He's basically saying why he won't debate Andrew Wilson and why he refuses to engage with people who disagree with him. And he's saying that they need to act like adults. Anyway, I've got this video. I think you'll enjoy it. So let me bring it in and let me know. Comment down below. Is there anybody else that's less serious than him? I can think of one person, but they're definitely scraping for the bottom. But let's bring this in. Let's go.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
We on our side need to stop descending into the bowels. We need to stop lowering ourselves to respond to these people. We need to stop engaging with them altogether if they can't behave like adults. I
firmly believe the gun was up there already, because there's no way he could have walked up there with it down his pants and it didn't fit in his backpack. So, but they said he got up there, takes the gun out, puts it together. They say he puts it together, lines up the shot, takes the shot. Nobody sees him, takes the shot. Then he takes it apart again. And that it just doesn't, none of that makes sense. And then he happens to drop the gun off, puts it back together without the screwdriver. He puts it back together and he leaves it in the backyard of a house owned by Palantir.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
There are so many things that went wrong, starting with the t-shirt moving in the way it moved, that is totally and wholly inconsistent with a gunshot to the neck. You know, the whole t-shirt comes up, a medallion on his necklace flies into his neck. His hands, the way they grip the microphone, looks to me like he got electrocuted. His ring disconnected from his ring finger and then sticks to his pinky finger for about a full second. It's not affected by gravity, almost as if there's some sort of an electromagnetic pull on that ring. And then you have this medical report of a broken series of vertebrae from the C1 or 2 all the way down to the C7 or T1. It's and then you had the couple of wounds on his arm that almost looked like a taser or some sort of puncture wound. I just think that they brought Charlie into that what looks like a death arena and said, we're going to go after him 4 or 5 different ways, and then we're going to break his neck in the car. And he's not walking out of this alive. There's a 0% chance he leaves Orem, Utah alive. And that is my working hypothesis, that yes, something exploded under his shirt. Yes, something went wrong with the microphone and caused an electrification. Yes, something punctured his neck. I don't know if it was a bullet or what it was. Yes, his neck bones were broken. Something happened there. Yes, something wounded his arm. There's just too much going on. It's like they didn't want to risk him being Rasputin and live through a 1 or 2 attempts. They wanted to make sure he was finished off no matter what. And I think what they're describing in the police, at least a way to interpret it, what the police are describing on the way to the hospital is a guy fighting back.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
A guy struggling is what it sounds like to me. I don't know.
Struggling.
What it sounded like to me. And you know, if you look at it, it does look like he's electric shocked. And you've talked about these 2 wounds
shock is crazy.
On his forearm. Can you talk about that?
And after the event, it looks like almost snake fangs, but they're about an inch and a half apart. It's 2 little puncture wounds on his forearm. They're not moles because we have clear imagery of him before and during the event, and they're not there. They don't look like blood splatter. They're just too small and perfectly placed there. And it looks to me like he might have gotten hit with some sort of a taser or something under the table, either to make sure he was finished off, like does he respond, or to subdue him further. I don't know. I mean, it enters the realm of speculation at that point. And I don't like to speculate too much.
They can't behave like adults. There's no reason we're jumping on X spaces and calling each other names. There's no reason we're jumping on X spaces and fighting over this nonsense. It's not worth fighting over. Because if Andrew left Santa Barbara before Charlie got shot, then there was a plot to kill him. They can't behave like adults. That's why it matters.
If Andrew left Santa Barbara before Charlie got shot, there was a plot to kill Charlie Kirk, and Andrew knew about it. That's why it matters. They can't behave like adults. In my opinion, it is evidence that that might have been the case and that they've been lying to us the entire time. That's why it matters. There's no other explanation I can think of short of Andrew was having an affair with somebody in Scottsdale, that he would be sneaking into Scottsdale when he's supposed to be on the air on the Charlie Kirk show. And I'm sick and tired of the constant obfuscation and lies. And when we raise real questions like this, they ignore it. But when somebody says, you think Erica was buying a jumpsuit at Aloe? Oh my God, no. Of course she wasn't buying a jumpsuit at Aloe. I was buying the jumpsuit. Oh, that's when you choose to come in and answer it? That's when you choose to come in and answer the accusations? Are you serious? That's when you come in, is when someone thinks he was buying a crop top? But I do 3 shows accusing you of leaving Santa Barbara before Charlie got shot or banged or whatever happened to him, and you're just dead silent? In my opinion, accusing you. Because I can't think of a way to reconcile all these facts. Short of evil, I cannot find a way to reconcile all these facts. Now, maybe the answer is you were having an affair in Arizona.
Wow.
That's personal and private. I don't want to know about it. But I think you owe us an explanation. Because your phone magically came back on while your plane that you supposedly were on was 19,000 feet in the air. And why would it magically come back on if you had Wi-Fi through the duration of the flight? That doesn't make sense to me. Why did Marina Minas say you were on a flight at 2:05 p.m. Utah time? They can't behave like adults. When the flight you supposedly got on didn't leave until 3:30. That doesn't make sense to me either. You cannot reconcile these facts, Andrew. You can't dodge them. You can't run from them. They can't behave like adults. Easy has been encouraging me for weeks to text Andrew and ask him, were you on that flight? I've resisted. I thought I already knew the answer because I can't reconcile it any other way. They can't behave like adults. You know, you don't agree with me? Fine. Give me a reason. If you don't have a reason why, then let's just not talk. You're an, idiot boogerhead eater. That's not going to cut it. That's not from this point forward. That doesn't cut it. We handle this like professionals. We handle this like adults, or we don't handle it. Stop tuning into these spaces. Stop giving in to this childish discussion. It's not advancing the ball, and your attendance in these spaces, even though some more, I listened today for an hour while somebody melted down. It was embarrassing. This person claims to be somebody. Claims to be a producer for somebody. But it was just embarrassing watching the meltdown, watching the name calling and the infantile responses. And I thought, why am I here? Because that's just one more view that this space is getting. And that's one more piece of encouragement for people to engage in this kind of content. Let's raise our approach. Let's raise our standards. Let's be better. If someone's not engaging in good faith, don't engage them.
Will you be out there selling houses with big punch, son?
Yo, shout out the season, man.
Hey, yo, I'm out there big punch days, son. This nigga bought big punch back to life.
Shout out to my brother.
And the nigga selling houses.
Serious.
Somebody's name calling and, oh, he's a fraud, he's a huckster, he's a comment. Okay, then just ignore, block. So it doesn't even show up in your feed. It's just a lot easier that way. So that's kind of lesson number 1. We are capable of carrying out this investigation, carrying out these conversations at a level far higher.
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
Yeah, man. Like, how in the world are we supposed to deal with Baron Coleman in a serious manner? Like, help me out. How are we supposed to deal with him seriously? Because I just think he's just somebody to laugh and deride and mock. But let me know, comment below. Is there anybody worse than him? Anybody less serious than him? Comment down below. And then maybe give me your top 3 or your bottom 3 most unserious conspirators. I'd like to hear what you think. Anyway, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you so much for liking. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.